Well, hello, viewers and listeners. Welcome to Too Much is Never Enough with Karen and Jovi. We are here tonight bringing you an amazing topic called goal setting. We're going to talk to you about how we have accomplished two of our goals, each on our own, what the steps are in order to accomplish your goals. Most of it has to do with mindset, the attainability of having a goal in mind, the steps that it takes to get there, and then the achievement once you have succeeded it.
No, absolutely. I agree with you, Karen. So I do have a question for you.
Okay.
So what are the steps that you take to set your goals?
Well, I've always been a goal digger. Always been a digger. And, ever since I was a child, it's like, how can I get this? How can I get that? And I literally, everybody who knows me knows I will always get what I want because I'm going to work harder than anybody else to get it. So no matter what I want in life, I will get it. I just have to take the steps to get there, which made me realize that those are goals. How am I going to take those steps to get the goal? So let's just hypothetically say I have a goal of, I don't know, working out 3 times a week. How am I going to do that? I have to time management my schedule, look at my schedule for the week and the upcoming weeks of what's going on. But I almost have to separate that so I can work out earlier before everything to allow myself time to get ready for the things I have to do for my day. So for myself, this year I will skydive. So 2022, I'm going to skydive. That is a goal of mine. In order to achieve that goal, number one, I have to research what area I'll be skydiving in. Number two, I have to make sure that if there's anything I have to do with my doctor to make sure that I'm able to skydive, which I should be because I'm totally, healthy. Number three, plan a day that I'm going to do that. But there has to be steps and preparations. I'm sure you have to be well hydrated and well rested. And so I'm going to do all my research, break it down before I go. One of the key ingredients in goal setting is checking something off. So I've got a calendar and I write everything down, or I've got my whiteboard. I make things down and I check them off. Once they check off, it's a little pat on your shoulder. It's a sense of accomplishment, a sense of achievement. We search so many times to hear somebody else tell us that we did a good job, or, we're looking for somebody else's, amazement in what we do. And it's truly all within ourselves. So for me, to set a goal is, if I have a goal, I have to find out all the steps that I have to do to achieve it. Sometimes there might be many, sometimes there may not be too many, but I just check them off as I go along. I have a question for you, and you are the queen, in my opinion, willpower, self-restraint, self-discipline, self-research, self-love, self-taking care of yourself. I'm going to relate this to sugar because we do both come from a health and wellness, background. If somebody were trying to wean themselves off of sugar, what would be the steps in order for them to take out of their diet?
Yeah, that's a great question. I get questions about that all the time. So normally, what we normally suggest is for you to wean yourself off of it slowly. Me personally, I know my personality is to do cold cuts where it's just like I cut it off immediately. But when it comes down to it, not everyone has that willpower. So you have to write down a list of what you're going to do and what you're going to eat. So I normally have them write their whatever they're eating for that day. So journal all your food.
Yes.
Make sure, like, step by step. Okay, well, today I ate chocolate. Let's say that. Yeah. How much chocolate did you have? So you have to know in your mind, okay, how much I'm having. And then from there, slowly start removing it step by step.
Yeah.
And it's slow. You can't do cold cut where it's easy for you to just cut it cold cuts, because a lot of people go through withdrawals,
Yes.
And it's just, sometimes they can't do it. Me personally, it's easy for me to do it that way, but that's just my personality. Every personality is different. So it's easier to go slow and in moderations. And then, towards the end, maybe within a month or so, then they'll be able to either stay off the sugar completely and, go from there.
Yeah. I like that because, to stop something, anything, and any kind of like a habit and switch to something else. It can even be like negative thinking. We have sometimes so much negative thinking. How am I going to switch that our brain onto thinking positive? That's another goal. It's surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded, surrounding yourself with good people, surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you, reading, self-improvement. Again, all these steps to get to the bigger picture, the bigger goal of being a better you. So goal setting is just having that sense of wanting to accomplish, wanting to take the steps, having the endurance, the self-discipline, the self-willpower to get there. And goal setting is very important for a positive mental health, from that perspective. If we think we can't, we won't. But if we think we can, we will. There's been many goals. I wanted to get my conceal and carry. So in 2018, I applied for my FOID card and I received my FOID card. And then in 2021, I went to school and learned how to properly use a firearm. And then I took an advanced class, and, my next goal is to actually get, my choice of whatever I'm going to buy. But it was a goal that I had, and I have to practice so that I know how to, use my weapon, how to clean it, how to disengage everything. And there were steps that had to be taken into that. And that was something that I was really excited that I had learned how to do.
Mhm.
I think that, we all have different mindsets in the sense of how we're going to do something, but it's just basically writing it down, checking off and getting it done and going on to the next. And nowadays with all the technology that we have, all you have to do is research something and find out what it's going to take, make your list and check it off.
Absolutely. Or they have apps now.
Yeah.
And you jot everything down into your apps, and if there's great reminders too. Your calendar.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What do you recall being one of the biggest goals that you had set and that you had accomplished?
The biggest goal. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
In what though? Like in my weight loss?
And life, I'm eating cashews. I had them and I had to eat them.
That's fine. For me, I think my biggest goal was my weight loss. I
Mm-hmm.
think that was the biggest one that I've accomplished. And I think, you know, um, it took a while though. It was more like a 9-year process for me. And once I got to that point where it's just like, okay, I met different people in my path, and there was different methods of doing a way of getting to your health.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, I think there was a way where when I met Christopher Sasha, he was the one that actually taught me into more of the mindset, more of the goal orientated. And, he mentored me towards, losing the weight. And it
Mm-hmm.
took a while, I think but you have to have that mindset. You have to have the consistency. If you don't have the consistency, it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
So even if it's just 10, 15 minutes, and that's what I've been telling some of the girls lately. You start off with 10, 15 minutes. That's something. You're moving your body, you're making movements, and then from there, increase it from there. You're not
Yeah.
going to do like, I want to go run for 30 minutes, and that's not a true goal. You can't have that goal where it's like, I'm gonna run like, and I would do that. I would do like a whole hour of workouts. And then afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
I would, it was too much for my body, way too
Yeah.
much. So,
Yes. No, I like what you said, consistency. When you stay consistent in anything, you will reach your goal with patience, consistency, determination, willpower, staying on track and not getting distracted. I could never work out for an hour. I would be so bored. I get so distracted so easily that I can only do so much for so long. And then I'm like, shiny object, what's the next thing I'm going to do? So for me, running is fun. I'll run, but then I just stop. And even when I'm weightlifting, I take little breaks, everything a little bit through consistency. So
yeah.
I
So,
I yeah. You're going to ask me a question?
I was going to ask you a question now. What was one
Okay.
of your goals that you accomplished? Or one of your top goals?
One of my top goals was to get a hold of my mental health and get it under control. I had been in many toxic relationships my entire life, in friendships and business and love relationships. And one of my biggest goals was to get myself to a place of freedom in my mind and to take control of my thoughts and not let somebody else control my thoughts or manipulate me, and actually be able to set boundaries. So at the point I'm at right now, I'm able to set boundaries. I'm able to recognize signs and all kinds of things. So it was a goal of mine to be able to not always be that caretaker and that people pleaser, and to get to a space where it's about me. I'm being selfish for myself in a good way, still selfless, but selfish. So one of my biggest goals was to take control of myself and my mindset and stop giving myself away and allowing myself to truly be me and be able to set boundaries. And it took quite some time, but I'm there and it feels good because I can see the signs or the red flags. I'm like, next.
Right?
No, energy suckers. I put it in my Instagram today. I did a post about, when you're a magnet of, we all come from energies. We all have this like magnetic field, but like when people are attracted to you, they're attracted to you for one of two reasons. Either they're so attracted because they want a piece of you and take that energy away, which I call an energy vampire, or they're so attracted to you because there's such a likeness and they want to unite with you and work with you. And I don't waste time anymore. I had a conversation last night. Actually, it was a work call. And they were just chatting and chatting and chatting and chatting. And I'm looking at the time. I'm like, what? I have another meeting. I have to go. It was so nice talking to you. Bye. Done. I don't have time. I'm not, going to take any more of my valuable, precious time and wasting it anymore. It all to me is productive. So yeah, long answer to a great question.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, what goal do you have set? What's one goal for sure that you have set that you will accomplish by the end of this year?
By the end of this year, my goal is to, that's a good question, actually. I don't have any goals right now. But my goal, like for me personally, I want to do traveling. So that's, I guess you could say that's one of my goals.
Good.
So my goal is to travel to Mexico, one. Second, to California. And then I want to go to Texas and also Georgia. So those are my 4 locations that I want to go to for this year. So my goal is to basically travel if I can, and it's gonna happen. I want to travel each month. So once a month. That's my goal.
So me.
The steps that I'm taking, I'm writing it down. And to be honest, this is what happened yesterday. I received this and my sister's like, would you come to San Diego in May? So I was like, what? I was like, absolutely. So I was excited about that.
Yes, it's been placed in your hands. So it is going to happen. It's concrete. That's what I want all of our viewers and listeners to understand, that when something is written down, it's now a thought that's come out of your mind and you put it on paper. It's concrete. It has energy now. Now it is something, and you can create anything that you want, do anything that you want in life. You just have to believe that you have the power to do it. Everything's attainable. I have to get on a plane every 6 to almost 8 weeks. And I've been doing that for the last 2.5 years. I cannot not get on a plane. I get antsy. I have somewhere to go. I'm lucky that, I have children in different states and I can go visit them. But bottom line is that's you're going to do it. So by the end of the year, you will have already visited those 4 places. I think that's awesome.
I think so.
What can we leave our viewers with as far as if they're having a hard time even thinking of a goal?
I think it's just writing down exactly what you want. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you don't know what you want.
Yeah.
So when you don't know what you want, start dreaming. I think you need to start dreaming. Start thinking of different aspects of your life where you're going to say, you know what, I can do this. I want that. I want something concrete. And, if, some dreams do not fruition, it's for a reason. And you can't stop dreaming. You have to dream bigger. Because
Yes.
if you're dreaming small, it's not going to happen. You have to start dreaming bigger. And the bigger you dream, the better. I've been doing some meditations and I've been having some crazy dreams. So, like right now, personally, I feel like I'm in love with life. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, it's amazing. I don't think I've ever felt this, not even for a person.
That's
So
wonderful.
it's
That's
amazing.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Ah, Jovi, that's beautiful. I knew that you would give us some valuable advice. Well, this has been wonderful chatting with you about goals. Looking forward to next week's episode. This is our 4th episode, I do believe. And, please everybody share our our podcast. We're going worldwide. So everyone in the world is going to know who Karen and Jovi are, because too much is never enough of anything. You can't get too much love or too much self awareness and self-love and all those good things. So share our YouTube, drop in the comments anything that you'd like to say or want to hear about. And if you want to be a guest on our podcast, let us know, because we are always taking interviews. Thanks a lot, guys, and be blessed.
Bye.